grab, and he's going to be sacked.
Broncos country, what is going on? We're here for Horsepower Hour. We got a revenge game, a rubber match against the Buffalo Bills. We're going to dive into like our keys to victory, what we think about this matchup, and maybe react to the end of this Steelers-Texans game. Y'all be sure, get in the chat, let us know your thoughts, and most importantly, subscribe to my friends Marcky Sports, Kodiak Broncos podcast, as well as Broncos Unbridled with Jeremy, Sean. Guys, how you doing? I guess as an icebreaker, I think this would be fun before we get into the Broncos game. I would love to just hear from the wild card round what your favorite game was this weekend and why. Mark, we'll start with you.
Oh, that's a good question, man. I think probably my favorite game to watch. At first, I was like, I don't think anything's going to top the Packers and Bears game. But what ultimately took the cake for me was the Bills and Jags game, and mainly because I started seeing so much like small market talk. Still, I couldn't believe that was still a thing in Jacksonville, and they were really, really harping on it. Still, they were wearing these shirts. So seeing them have, and they said, I think it said like small market, big something, big wins or something like that. So it was nice to see a small market, big losses. But I think that gave me a little bit of joy. But man, the whole weekend of game was fun. I thought every game was good. So curious what you guys think.
Kodiak?
I don't know why, but I just really liked seeing Kyle Shanahan go into Philadelphia, a completely undermanned 49ers team and knocking off the defending Super Bowl champions. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's always cool seeing somebody else new win it, but San Francisco had every excuse not to win that game, and they still came to fight. And it's honestly hilarious because Eagles fans, whenever one thing goes wrong, they act like Jets fans. They're acting like they act like everybody's a terrorist within that organization. They're like, fire Sirianni. They're just like, trade Hurts. And it is funny to see them kind of melt down like that. So yeah, that was my favorite one.
Jeremy?
I'll go Panthers Rams just to start it off. I thought that was way better game than I expected it to be. And both teams showed up and both teams could have won. One was going to be devastated. One was going to be relieved, So yeah, kudos to Carolina. Evero turned what was absolutely the worst defense ever into something halfway decent. And I mean, we all thought they were going to get curb stomped. So good on them. They showed up, and that was a really good game.
Dude, it was, man. My favorite had to be the Packers-Bears game. Shout out to Bears Game Podcast. He's my favorite Bears YouTuber. But I had a childhood friend come in town because he was covering the All-American Bowl down here. And so we caught the game at Yard House. He's a diehard Bears fan. So it was awesome just watching that second half comeback. And congratulations to all the long-suffering Bears fans. Their history really isn't much different than the New York Jets. So for them to get a victory like that was massive. Eli, I'm sorry, we're trying not to throw too much shade on the Jets right now.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even trying to throw shade, but also, if you guys didn't know, David is also a Chicago native. So shout out to your hometown Bears, even though I know Broncos are number one. Yeah,
that's right. I don't have any of my Patrick Kane jerseys hanging here, but there is one particular, or two really, Chicago teams I will root for, but they are not football related. I'm smart enough, well, at least on the NFL side for that, not necessarily college. But it is what it is. Shall we? I don't know. Maybe get to Mark. I think we should start with kind of your segment or what you were thinking. I think that this would be a great way to start just driving some of the discussion between this Broncos-Bears matchup or Broncos matchup. But what did I say? Bills-Broncos matchup. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, man. So, I mean, I think for me, what I wanted to really talk about, because I feel like when watching all of the wild card games this weekend, you really see like, man, there was just certain X factors in every game, right? And whether it's players, whether it's decisions, it seemed like a lot of coaches were leaving points out on the board and it came out and bit them. And so I just really wanted to get an idea of, obviously besides maybe some of the obvious answers, like besides Bo Nix, for example, maybe somebody on the offense and somebody on the defense that you feel like is not really being talked about as an X factor, but you feel like just based on this matchup is going to have a very wild impact. I guess we'll start on the offensive side of the ball. And David, you rarely get to go first, so start it off. If you
start on the offensive side of the ball. Okay. Yeah. Well, I feel like in order for us to win this game, it's not rocket science, but we need our wide receiver one to have a wide receiver one game, man. We need Courtland Sutton particularly to be big in the red zone. Our red zone offense, that's been the one thing I think over the last month or so that we've been concerned about, but we're still winning. So we're like, we're not going to draw too much attention to it. But if for some reason we blow this game, which, I mean, we're underdogs, whatever. But if we don't win this game, I think it's because of our red zone execution or lack thereof. We need Courtland Sutton, I think, to have at least one touchdown.
I love it. Jeremy.
Yeah, I did 4 for each one just to be safe. So Court was my number 1, but that's fine. And I agree. Court, I don't even think he needs a touchdown necessarily. It's just those third downs, and we can't have those early drops that we've had all season long from him. He's got to be locked in, and he's not the biggest yak guy of all time by any stretch, but like now's the time where you have to like be diving for first downs and stretching out. So I'll stick with the wide receivers. And I think Eli and I were on the same page here. Pat Bryant, I just loved his explosiveness and like his just overall vibe that he carried into that last game of the year. And I could see him really, he's the guy that I trust to like, he knows where the sticks are. He's going to do the extra stuff. He's going to make a spin. He's going to do those little things. That's the kind of stuff we need. And let me reiterate, I'm going to say it all hour. No drops this week. Like we got buried last year in this game because of drops. It wasn't because of anything other than that. We should have been tied at half and we miss a kick. They come out and score. Now you're down 10. We on third down, get a drop. They score again. Now it's the going crazy, another drop, and then they go, oh well, Bo Nix got boat raced. Did he? Or was the people not ready and they dropped the football? So this is like we've dealt with drops all year. Please focus, maintain the catch. It's gonna come down to protecting the football. And I trust Pat Bryant's hands, and I like the yak ability and his blocking. He's just gonna hopefully be the guy we need to do all of it.
Yeah, I like the idea of getting Sutton a quick screen first play of the game. Let him drop it. Let him get it out of the system.
Yeah,
so we can move on. Because that always seems like it's the thing.
Kodiak, the great recipe for DT as well.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Just get it out of the way early, man.
Yeah, of course. Except DT would have taken the bubble screen to the house. But either way, I feel like we're just gonna keep going in circles with the wide receiver room, and I'm gonna stay there as well because I thought about it earlier today. Who basically turned the switch like that last year in Buffalo? Obviously, it was Troy Franklin on the first drive of the game. He had a really, really ugly rookie year. I know it wasn't that bad for fourth-round pick standards, but it felt like something clicked. And he looked a lot better in the offseason, and that continued early into the season. But what were the games where Bo did best this year? The games where Bo Nix did best this year were the Bengals, the Cowboys, and the Packers. All three of which games where I could think of I'm like, wow, Troy Franklin really popped off that week. And I feel like there's a very strong correlation into Troy Franklin having a good game and Bo Nix having a good game as well. And Mark, you said it on your channel, the Bills have one of the best pass defenses in the league statistically, at least yardage wise. Now, if they actually play up to that, I think we can take advantage of that vulnerability, but it's going to be a big task for our receivers to step up. And yeah, either way, I think Troy Franklin's going to be our X factor for this game. If he has a good game, then I think we're going to be a really, really tough out in the playoffs regardless. Even though we already have a lot going for us, Troy Franklin is what I think can really make this offense hit another level, hopefully all the way to Santa Clara.
I love it, man. No, I think any of those three receivers, there's a lot of, I mean, even though they're still statistically number one, there's a lot of vulnerabilities on the back end of that Bills defense, especially Christian Benford, in my opinion. I know he makes a lot of plays, but he gets got a lot. And so he's someone that we should definitely key in on. My guy for the offense is Alex Forsyth. And it's because obviously he's a backup that's filling in. But if there's any week on the planet that I would beg Sean Payton to run the ball 35 to 40 times, it's this week. If I can get one wish, I want him to run the ball 40 times this week against the Bills, because we can definitely run the ball against them if we really want to. I don't care who the running back is. They've got some big boys in the defensive line, and to be honest with you, unless their name is Ed Oliver, they are all terrible against the run. And this is like, actually, you would think Kodiak actually built this defensive line. Let me read this off to you guys. Daquan Jones is 6'4", 320 pounds. He's the smallest one, by the way. Deion Walker is 6'7", 331 pounds. You've got the backup, TJ Sanders. We liked him a lot coming out, right? He's a 300 pounder, so he's not that big. And then obviously they've got Ed Oliver, who might come back and play this week. And he's a big monster in the middle as well. They've got a lot of big dudes all over the place. So I think it's going to be massively important that we get that obviously Alex Forsyth plays well, and especially in pass protection. But this is a team you can run on. And what does he do well? He's a great run blocker. So utilize his strength. That could be a big win-win, I think, for me. So Alex Forsyth, we are depending on you, man, because that we definitely don't want that pocket collapsing. Not in this game, at least. All right, moving over to the defensive side.
Real quick, can I shout out two more real quick?
Yeah.
Just because.
Oh yeah.
I think these guys need to be said. Like RJ Harvey, you've been hearing the noise for 2 weeks about how Jaleel McLaughlin should get more carries than you. Like right now is like when he needs to lock in. This is the defense to do it. This is the defense to explode against. And dude, run to daylight. I understand they are like, go up the middle, stay in their lane, stay in your gap, all that. But if it isn't there, bounce it, do what you need to do. Just trust your instincts, man. Cause like sometimes I feel like he's thinking too much. If he just goes, I honestly think he could have a huge day. And the other one, and we thought this guy was going to be huge all season, hasn't really been, but man, would it be nice to have him pop off in the playoffs. Evan Ingram, man, like you're due, dude. Like, this is what you're here for. Like, you're posting the Joker role, the Joker meme and all that stuff. Like, show us, come out. No drops again. You've had kind of struggled, and just like, you've been really good at getting the ball in his hands and getting upfield and getting what he can. And he's a guy that can break off a 50, 60 yarder too. So that can really put them on their heels. If Harvey does it, Ingram does it. So I just want to make sure those guys are.
No, for sure. I do got a feeling about Evan Ingram this week, and him being, it might have taken 19 weeks, but I think he's definitely been due for that breakout game. Anybody else? Any other offensive guys that you guys wanted to mention?
I'll say this with RJ Harvey, man. Like, if there's any team to have a breakout performance against, it's probably this Buffalo Bills defense, right?
Yep.
And they've been one of the worst run defenses in the league since, I think Zach Seeger said last night, since like week 10. Yes, I understand. You kind of, I don't know. There's a trade-off, right? You kind of know what you're getting with Jaleel. I think that he'll be a positive, a net positive for us on Saturday. But RJ Harvey could be, if he plays the way we know he can play against this defense, he could be a primary reason why we win this game.
Definitely.
And I just don't think Jaleel has that sort of ceiling. So it's an interesting kind of conundrum that Sean Payton's in. Do you want to have these long sustaining drives?
And nobody scored more touchdowns as a rookie than RJ
Yeah.
Harvey.
Then RJ.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was really digging into the rushing numbers, looking at like rushing by direction and where teams are vulnerable and all that. And it's crazy that RJ Harvey's actually the most successful when he does run between the tackles, when he's running between specifically the right guard and the left guard in the middle of the offensive line. That's where he's been by far the most successful. The thing about Jaleel is why I think he'll actually have a lot of opportunities in this one because, and I forgot exactly what I had seen or exactly what the numbers were, but the Buffalo Bills struggle mightily with runners beating them to the outside. If you actually watch even the Jags game, that's how Bashal Tutin had a lot of his carries. He was able to get the speed, beat him outside, and go. And that is a strength of the Broncos' offensive line. You got really good tackles that are athletic, and Jaleel can move. So I think that there will be a lot of opportunities for Jaleel as well, but we'll see. I'm all for RJ Harvey going crazy. So I love that.
Yeah, I'm not picky. If either one wants to go off, go ahead.
I don't care if they activate Deuce Vaughn and he goes nuts. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
I just want somebody going nuts at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one more guy I want to mention. You talked about our athletic tackles. I think on the short list of the worst games Mike McGlinchey has played as a Denver Bronco, I think the wild card last year against Buffalo is definitely up there. I thought he played terribly. So, man, now it's time for redemption. You know, what's been one of the big themes of the season for the Broncos? You know, Vance Joseph redeems himself, Forsythe redeems himself, and we're going to talk about some guys on the defensive side of the ball who I think will get a chance to redeem themselves. But yeah, McGlinchey also has a shot at redemption. Not a lot of people were talking about it last year, but trust me, I don't forget.
Kodiak definitely does not forget. He's got that young man's memory. You can tell he remembers everything. It is pretty impressive. All right, so going on to the defensive side of the ball. Kodiak, we'll start with you. We'll go back opposite direction.
All right.
Who's your defensive X factor?
Yes, of course. So obviously, we are probably not going to have Brandon Jones at all for the playoffs. Like that's one thing I've heard from a lot of the beat writers is that Brandon Jones' injury was probably too severe for him to come back. Now, ultimately, it was a pectoral injury. So could he maybe play, shoot him up some painkillers if it really comes down to it? I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Let's do it.
Yeah, why not? But if you look at one of the guys who I thought was terrible down the stretch last year, and arguably the biggest liability on the defensive side of the ball for us, not just last year specifically, but in the wild card game against Buffalo, PJ Locke picked a bad time to have his worst performance. But, you know, like I said, the theme of this year has been redemption, and what a prime opportunity it is for PJ Locke to redeem himself. Okay, not only do you have running backs who can catch out of the backfield, but you have tight ends who are a big part of Buffalo's receiving game. And Knox and Kincaid, like statistically, they're not the most like, I don't know, they don't produce that much in the grand scheme of things, but you know, they're big. They're big on those money downs. I think they have combined 700, 800 yards this year. So you already know that Josh Allen's going to want to target these tight ends because it worked out for them really well last year. So, yep, I'm looking for a big game from PJ Locke because honestly, I feel like if he has a really good game in the interior of our defense, like the linebackers and the safeties can have a really good game, really like our chances against this Buffalo offense.
That's a great one. Am I up?
Yep.
Okay, let's go. To me, if Zach Allen can have a monster day, I think we win this football game, honestly, because he's going to be responsible for stopping the run up the middle, but also putting pressure on Josh Allen right in his face. And like Josh Allen is so good at stepping up from the edge rushers kind of collapsing around him and stepping through that. But if Allen can be coming up his face like that with Benito and Cooper crashing, then he's going to have a much tougher day. And put your hands up, get tips, whatever we need to do. But Zach Allen last year, you know, had like maybe an all-pro caliber, maybe defensive player of the year type of year. This year, he's had a little bit less. I think they've kind of limited his snaps somewhat, but he had 2 weeks to rest up. And man, if Allen can get going, Allen versus Allen, and if Zach beats Josh, like I think the Broncos beat the Bills.
He was the lone bright spot last year. He had the 2 sacks. He was an absolute menace. It was just everyone else. It was really him and DJ Jones actually that played well, but everyone else I feel like was just struggling. Even Pat Surtain decided to have his worst game of the season last year against the Bills. David, what you got?
I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit. I mean, this is the game that we bring in Dre Greenlaw for, right? Just stop James Cook. That's I don't care if he's 60% in this game. That is better than Alex Singleton. We need him in this game. We need him playing. I'm expecting him to, right? Mark, you did a video earlier this weekend on him being back, right? That's the expectation?
Yeah, that's. I mean, Sean seemed pretty confident about it too.
Okay.
So I think he's going to be back.
So that's massive. We need Dre Greenlaw. Dude, I can forgive, you missing half the season or whatever it was. More than that. I mean, what did he play? Like 5-6 regular season games? I can forgive that if we get a really good game from him this week and then hopefully 2 more after that, right? So Dre Greenlaw, he is my, player to watch. We need him to play like the linebacker we brought him in to be. And I will say, I'll piggyback on top of that and say we need Justin Strnad on the field more than Alex Singleton. It just needs to happen, Vance Joseph. It just needs to happen. Everybody can see that when Alex Singleton's on the field, they will just target him. We can't do it. We can't do that going into this game. We can't. Sean Payton, do not allow it.
Yep. I'm curious to see how they play it too, man. I will say that I think the Broncos are going to play a lot of nickel defense against this team. I think that's the major key. The big thing is, can you stay in nickel with one extra DB, and can you stop this run game? And that's why I truly believe that, listen, in April, we had a draft. It was a very controversial draft, especially the first round. I think this is absolutely the game where Jahdae Barron shows his worth to this football team. I think he's going to play a lot. He's been sneakily playing a lot. It was shout out to Luca Evans. I think he's the one that had it. I'm going to pull up. I bookmarked it. But he has kind of been playing a lot more lately. And yes, some of it could have been because of obviously, they're resting other guys and trying to get him in more. But he's been playing a lot more. He is the guy that we know can cover tight ends. He's the guy that can cover the slot. And their best receivers are slot receiver and Shakir. Their second best receiver is their tight end and Kincaid. So he's going to be there. But also, what did we all love the most about Jahdae Barron, or at least one of the best traits of his coming out of college, is that he's extremely good in the run game. In fact, he didn't miss one tackle in college.
Wow.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
He was a beast in the run game. And so he's going to have to hold up in the run game. He's going to have to make tackles. But I would not be surprised if you see Jahdae Barron in there a lot. I think it would be smart to do it, at least early on in the game. And I think this is going to be where we justify that first-round pick for him. Even though I knew it was more of a 2026 pick, I'm excited for that one. And then I have a second one that I wanted to do.
Okay.
Because this guy could have been, I don't really have evidence backing this up, but it could have been one of the biggest reasons why the defense struggled so much last year. And that was Jonah Ellis, because he got hurt early. And Dion, I don't know if you guys saw the play that I went back and watched it. Dion Dawkins just lit him up, dude. But Jonah Ellis is going to be a major factor, because one thing we know is that dude can chase the quarterback down and he can stop the run.
Yep.
And that is where Nick Bonito struggled the most last year in this game. He's way better as a run defender now, but they got some big boys on the outside, man. And Nick Bonito, I think what's his name? Just totally blank for him. Jonah Ellis is going to be one of the big factors there.
Ooh. Yeah, I love that. I love that take, Mark. I wonder how much he'll be on the field this week.
I hope a lot.
Yeah.
I saw his brother running around. I was like, dude, he's the inside linebacker. I was like, maybe he's just in their genes. He could play a little bit of inside linebacker for you in times that you need.
Then we draft Lander.
Yeah.
We get all three of them on the team.
I love it.
Oh, wait, no.
Caden.
That's Lander Barton. My bad.
Yeah, you're thinking about Caden Ellis for Falcons.
Yeah, I wish we
could
had Cody
get
Barton.
Lander, keep it a former family affair there.
Yeah.
And Christian from New England.
We are not wearing the retros. We can't in the playoffs, can we?
I actually heard we could.
Oh, really?
I think it was Mario that said it. Mile High Mario. I think he said they technically can in the playoffs, but he doesn't think that they will, but they can wear an alternate. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I remember reading.
Interesting.
So.
Huh. Okay.
My other one real quick, or I guess there's two quickly, but I love what me and Mark talked about this game yesterday, and he said put PS2 on Khalil Shakir. I think that is what you need to do. Like, that is, he had 12 targets yesterday for 12 catches. Like, he was Josh Allen's security blanket. And if you can get Allen to get off of his first read, step up, and how he's having to look real quick, like the Bills have basically turned into Allen's going to drop back on third down. He's going to look quickly to a one read, maybe two, and then he's going to try to make something with his legs. That's it. So you're going to need to spy that. I don't know if you delay blitz with somebody like Greenlaw or Stranad or even a Barron or somebody like that. But if you can get PS2 on Shakir and kind of take that away, like just make him hold it for an extra second or two, I think that could be a huge, huge thing for this defense. And then Hufanga obviously is going to be one of those guys that like he sometimes likes to cheat and get out of his, where he's supposed to be. But like if he has a good game doing that and don't miss tackles, we can't afford a 60-yard break off because you were just slightly behind. Like, but I can see if anybody's due for a pick, like it's Hufanga, right? Yeah. So, man, how nice would that be for him to get his pick finally?
Yep, he is due. Yeah, dude, I'm excited to watch Hufanga. He's one of the bigger, like the big difference that we have on this defense compared to the team last year. Just what he can do in run support too, man. Like I think about that play he had against the Packers where he blew up the tight end into the running back for the tackle. Still one of my favorite, probably my favorite play of the whole year, but still something I think about all the time. And anyone else got anything else?
Yeah, I do have one more guy. Yuma Wazirike, man. Last year we did not have those big bodies on the defensive line. And you know what? Roach, DJ Jones, they are fantastic, but they're just not big enough, okay? And the Buffalo Bills, they have a really, really big offensive line. I'm pretty sure before we started doing it, Buffalo ran 6 offensive line at the highest clip in the NFL last year before we incorporated that into our offensive line this year. So, yeah, it's going to be a big physical matchup in the trenches. And obviously we need our guys in the back end to, hold up their end of the bargain. But on early downs, man, you can't let James Cook go all over you because it's not even that he had explosive runs last year. It's that he got constant like 6, 7, 8 yards per clip. And honestly, that didn't even happen until our offense couldn't hold up their end of the bargain. And you know what? The offense kept going 3 and out. So the defense was winded. And the Bills quite simply had a perfect counterpunch to that. So the complementary football needs to be strong, but that starts with, forcing them into 2nd and 10, 2nd and 9s. None of these 2nd and 2s, 2nd and 1s, okay? Need to keep them behind the sticks.
Yeah, if I could just piggyback on that, like absolutely. If they get 2 2nd and 1s, 3rd and 1s, it's going to be Josh Allen putting his head down and just blasting forward, and there's going to pick it up every time. They're going to go for it on 4th down. You're not going to get them off the field. You need to make those tackles. We've been kind of lazy where we're like, oh, they didn't get the 1st down, but it's like 3rd and inches or 3rd and short or 2nd. That's not going to work in this game. And the other thing, if you look at yesterday's game against the Bills, they gave up on James Cook when the Jags stopped the run game early. If you cannot let them break something big off the top, off in the 1st quarter or 2nd quarter, and now they go, oh, now we're just going to run and run and run. If you can snuff that out early, they might abandon it. So, like, it's going to be huge to make sure you're on your P's and Q's early.
Mm-hmm.
Is this where is this the week we sign? Maybe this is what Sean's had up his sleeve the whole time. We sign Desmond Watson, Kodiak.
Man, I think he
just
might
let him sit there. He doesn't even have to move.
Exactly. I mean, I think he might need a little conditioning to play at altitude at what is he? What is
464?
Yeah, apparently he dropped some weight while he was with the Buccaneers and still.
All right, 430 pounds then we'll say. We'll give him 30 pounds.
Yeah, exactly. So if he's playing at 430 pounds instead of his listed at college 464, then fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to say, I mean, this is definitely a great matchup for A.T. Perry.
It is.
He had to be mentioned.
Dude, yes. I mean, I'm telling you, dude, if you want to be a beast in the red zone, imagine A.T. Perry, Evan Ingram, Pat Bryant, Cortland Sutton. Just throw it up. And we honestly just activate Caleb Lohner, put him in the slot. And it's basketball at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm down with that.
Oh my gosh. Dude, Rodgers just got sandwiched.
It would be hilarious though if A.T. Perry somehow, some way got activated for this game. There was we talked about it a little bit last week. I think there was the surprise deactivation. Oh, is that a touchdown? Damn.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
the surprise deactivation of Estime last year, and they elevated Bidet. Who knows, man? Who knows? It's a very slim chance, but it would be hilarious.
The ultimate 4D chess. We've just been sitting A.T. Perry all season for this.
All season.
Yes.
All season for that.
Sounds like a wet dream to me.
Yeah.
Before we get to y'all segments too, I needed to answer this for my dad before the chat goes away. But what's your take on the VJ distraction? I mean, we've had other coaches here, right, in the past that have interviewed, before a divisional round game, and it hasn't gone so well. I think most famously, we could talk about the 2014 year, dropping those games to the Colts. That was tough. But yeah, VJ had, I want to say, at least 5 interviews. I think it was up to 7 teams interested in him. So that's great. Do you think that him interviewing is going to affect this defensive performance at all?
Personally, no. I don't think so. I think enough time has passed. I don't think he's doing any kind of second interviews or anything, obviously, until next week. So I think it's going to be a clean game, and I think if the defense struggles, I don't think it'll be much because of that. But you never know. Jim Leonard was getting interviews. Darren Rizzi was getting interviews too. So hopefully they're buckled down and ready to rock.
Yeah, it seems like everybody interviewed this week.
No. And also, would you do me a favor and highlight this comment from Eli Betts saying, why is Jim Leonard taking interviews? I thought he was taking the job once VJ left. Yes, Eli. That being said, I don't know. He's technically still our defensive pass game coordinator, and you can't block other moves, or you can only block lateral moves. So if the Cowboys were hiring him for his assistant head coach pass game coordinator role, which is a role that we created specifically for him on the defensive side of the ball, because our owner is worth $1 trillion. We can pay as many assistant head coach salaries as we want. Then yes, we'd be able to block that. But also, it's not a guarantee that VJ is going to leave. So you know what? I would love to see Jim Leonard get some upward mobility. I think, you look at what he did at Wisconsin, he was crazy good as a defensive coordinator there. And honestly, I hope it's with us. I hope VJ gets another chance to be a head coach in the NFL. That being said, I don't think it'll affect us against Buffalo. I really don't, especially because, the one benefit of us in Seattle is even if we had coordinators, interviewing for other jobs, like I know Clint Kubiak interviewed for a couple, we still had a lot of time off. Now, they weren't focused on the Bills specifically because they didn't know that we were playing them until yesterday, but ultimately we do have that to our benefit as well.
Wonderful point. I like the shirt, by the way, Kodiak.
Oh, thank you.
Very nice, man.
Yeah,
Very nice. Well, shall we get into, let's see, hold your horses, giddy up?
Yes,
let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. All right. I'll start with David on this one since we're going to keep that theme going. He never gets to go first. If Pat Mahomes can outduel Josh Allen on a regular basis, and Bo Nix can outduel Pat Mahomes on a regular basis, then Bo can outduel Josh Allen this weekend.
Giddy up, baby. You're absolutely right. I think one of the things I'm looking forward to so much with this matchup is that Bo Nix has the opportunity to rewrite his narrative. You win this game, everybody starts talking about you as a legitimate, big time franchise quarterback in the NFL. You beat Josh Allen, everything changes. So we'll have to see. But Bo Nix has the potential, man. We have seen the flashes throughout the year. We've seen the fourth quarter comebacks, the great drives in crunch time. He has ice in his veins. He's built for the moment, just like these other guys are.
Yep. I totally agree. Everybody raves at Josh Allen about the clutch, Superman cape and yada, yada. But you know what? Yesterday was the first time he ever had won a playoff game on the road, ever. And he's never been to a Super Bowl either. So this is like his 12th playoff game or something crazy, something up there. This is Bo's second. So, people will need to pump their brakes no matter what happens. But for them to be like, oh, Josh Allen is, this and that. And he is. They rely so much on him. But he's never been the number 1 seed. He hasn't had the home field throughout the playoffs, and that's what Bo has earned this year. So I just feel like if Bo's comfortable and he can get some early stuff going and just use your feet and keep your eyes downfield, I think I have all the faith in the world in him. You know, I always have, but in this game particularly. So I totally agree. All right, Mark, let's go with you. Vance Joseph and not Sean Payton has the more important game plan on Saturday.
Oh, that's a good question. No, I think Sean does. I think Sean's game plan is the most important in this one because depending on how he ends up rolling out on the offense can really dictate the way in which this game goes in a weird way. I know it's been the defense running it, but you guys have to understand this team's coming off a short week. They're super beat up. They're traveling all the way from the East Coast, and they're playing at altitude. They got a very, very large human beings on the defensive line. It reminds me of the Super Bowl 32 game where we just kept running it to where they were exhausted. Like if we have a good game plan, Sean, offensively, and we're able to control the clock like we have for a majority of the second half of the season, really wear this team down. Come the fourth quarter, man, like it's going to be a wrap. That we're going to be able to kind of have our way with them. And then obviously our ability to score in the red zone is going to be huge. I think David talked about it before. Like Buffalo Bills defense is one of the best in the red zone. Their offense is the best in the red zone. Our defense is they're second best in the red zone offensively. We're the best defensively. And then on the flip side, our red zone offense has been up and down. At the games that we've been really good and scored touchdowns, I don't think we've lost in those games. And so we need to be able to make sure we capitalize there. So I think Sean Payton's game plan is going to be massive this week.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly think that's what's come down to. If we can stop them, hold them to 3 in the red zone, and we get 7 in the red zone, that'll be the difference. All right, Kodiak. This game is going to come down to the legs of Bo Nix.
I wouldn't say specifically the legs of Bo Nix. I don't think the game will come down to it. Now, obviously, I'm thinking about all the fourth quarters that we've had this year, and I'm thinking about the Giants and the Texans and what happened in those games when we needed it most. Bo Nix took off for a huge gain, and obviously we got the touchdown against the Giants and touchdown against the Texans. But, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, Bo should run more. But against the Chargers, man, I don't think they did a great job. I don't think he did a good job protecting himself. I don't think, I thought it was a little too risky with what they were doing. So, as far as like the taking off of running, like the scrambling ability, sure. Yeah, if you could extend a drive by picking up, a 3rd and 9, a 3rd and 8, and demoralize the Bills and keep your possession, because honestly, that's how the Broncos should win this game. Is they're going to need to convert on the money downs. I don't think it'll come down to that specifically, but I'm just asking a drive or 2 or 3, or a 3rd down or 2 or 3 picked up from his legs. That that'd be huge. But I wouldn't say it would come down to it. Now, if he scampers off for a big gain in the fourth quarter, then I guess it came down to his legs, but. I think it's going to be something that's going to be important to do, throughout all 3 quarters or all 4 quarters, not just late in the game, if it does come down to that.
Yeah, and I think it could come down to the threat of his legs, not actually his legs.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he rips someone off early and now they're like, oh, shoot, and they're having to watch that the whole time. Like that Bandy touchdown was because of his legs. They were worried he was going to run. And he found Bandy, and Bandy turned it up and got the touchdown, right? So those are the types of things that they have to, like any team has to be aware of. But it seems like this playoffs, you've seen like Trevor Lawrence running more. You've seen Josh Allen 3rd down. Okay, I'm just going to have to freaking bowl through and get it. All these different people, right? So I could just see it where Bo is like, if I don't love what I'm seeing, or if it's a little bit muddy, I'm just going to trust myself to go do some stuff. And he's done such a good job protecting his body all season long. And people have been like, oh, he needs to run more. He needs to run more. Mm-hmm. Well, this could be the time where he's like, all right, now it's time to, instead of sliding early and going out of bounds 3 yards early, like now lowering a shoulder and getting what you can. Right. So it's going to be interesting, but I think that's going to be I think any team that we play with, if they're facing Bo Nix, that's probably one of the first things they get told is like, you have to be aware of this guy's legs. So cool. That's what I got.
Wonderful. Those were great questions, Jeremy.
Thanks.
Kodiak, did you have a segment, or shall we get into some like predictions?
I think I'm gonna go through some game scenarios, okay, with y'all. All right. So let's just say it is. How do I put this? Let's say the Bills are up. Let's put it 24-20 with 2 minutes left to go. We have the ball on our 35. We have all 3 timeouts. Do you trust us to get it done? Do you trust us to get it done, and why? This could be an open-ended question for anybody on this team. So 4-point lead going into the 2-minute warning, but we have the football. Okay. What happens?
Yeah, I do. I have full confidence. And to be honest with you, I think what I would be thinking at that time is, man, when I score a touchdown, I want to make sure I do it with like 10 seconds or less left. That's exactly what I'd be going through my mind. And yeah, I do, because I feel like we've done it. We've done it all year, man. I think at that point, you'll have a vulnerable defense that's going to be exhausted. You know, you can run a little bit of hurry up. Bo seems to do really well when he's kind of running the no huddle, running the 2-minute offense. So I would be really confident. I'd be nervous as hell. I'd probably be throwing up a little bit, in my mouth, but I would be really pumped up about it. So I do. I feel uber confident, way more confident than if we were up 24-20 and Josh Allen had the ball at their 35, with 3 timeouts. I would be a lot. I'd rather be the team with the ball in their hands last.
That's what I was about to ask. Would you feel more confident being down 4 or being up 4, but you don't have the ball?
Yeah.
So it sounds like you'd rather be down 4 with the ball.
Well, it's not that it's hard to say what I'd rather. Like, you always want to take the lead, but I would feel more comfortable in a way, because it's like, okay, I think we have a higher chance of going down and scoring a touchdown than we would have stopping Josh Allen. But again, and now that I think about it, it's tough, because it's easier to say that when the game's not actually happening. But I still have a little bit more confidence in this offense in clutch time.
And what I love is we've done both. Like, we beat Philadelphia from behind. We beat the Giants from behind when we absolutely needed to make plays to win. We've done that. But we've also closed games against Washington, there's a handful of games where you have to get that stop. The Jets game even was like an ugly game, but you had to get that stop. The Raiders, that ugly freaking 10-7 game was, you had to get that stop. Houston, we needed 3. We got it. So I know Broncos country, Bo leaves and all that kind of stuff, but it comes down to like the players and the coaches that are on the field. They actually do believe that this team will do whatever it takes to win. Like, that's it. If it takes Nick Bonito swatting something down to stop a 2-point conversion, they think they're going to do that. If it takes Bo hitting Marvin Mims or whoever, they just feel like that's going to happen. And whether or not they're right, Henry Ford, the famous quote is, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So that's, belief is so powerful. And I think if this team wins a Super Bowl, it's strictly because of that belief. Because it's not going to come down to talent anymore. Because we're talented enough to beat anybody. It's a matter of, do we actually believe we can do it? And I do think this team thinks that.
I did think it'd
Give
be
me
cool
the
to
lead.
have I think it'd be cool to have Riley Moss seal the game for us today.
Oh man,
But
wouldn't
maybe
that just be
Beautiful.
And now that I think about it too, the lead makes sense, because that crowd noise is going to be insane. It's going to be insane. But again, it's like, man, I don't know. I believe so much in Bo Nix, to the point where I want him to become feared around the league in crunch time. Like you fear Mahomes, like I fear Josh Allen, and saying I'd rather my guy have the ball in his hands than the other guy. And this defense has been fantastic this year, but they've had their moments in crunch time games, I feel like. And then you put the ball in the hands of the referee a lot. They're going to throw it towards Riley. They're going to call some PI. So things shit like that you worry about. So
man, they better swallow their whistle on any of that hand fighting and stuff. They better.
Yeah.
I feel like they've been a little bit better at that just overall in the playoffs. But do you guys know, I guess it's not announced yet, which officiating crew we're getting?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mark said it in
Carl
the
Cheffers.
Discord. It's Carl
Oh.
Cheffers.
Okay, as long as it's not Brad Allen. So
I was gonna say, don't give me Brad
First
Allen.
thing I looked at. Yeah, let me see what it was. It was Carl Cheffers. In fact, I don't think Brad Allen's even scheduled to be in any
No.
of the games. So that's good.
No, he's not. Did you guys see Brad Allen give Jacksonville a free second yesterday on the clock?
yes.
That was insane. Like,
When?
I'm not surprised that happened. Like, so Jacksonville, the half should have ended. They didn't have any timeouts, or maybe they had one. I can't remember specifically, but they added 1 second back on the clock, even though like the guy wasn't touchdown until after zeros at the clock. So it ended up being inconsequential because Cam Little missed the kick. But Brad Allen's crew, man, get ready to learn CFL, buddy.
He was snapping the football, and there was a guy offsides, but he was literally starting to snap it right at the point when it's turning 0-0. So like, it was a judgment call, but like, I don't know. I feel like that was a perfect example of like, what does this guy want? Like, he could have picked either one. And that's what I don't want to come
Who
down
knows?
to.
Maybe the NFL was like, we cannot put Brad Allen in the Broncos game because of what happened with him in Greenlaw too. They were like, we just don't want any of that smoke. So maybe Greenlaw sacrificing that game for us ended up helping us in the playoffs.
I hope so. If that's true, if that goes into their thinking, it's worth it for sure.
I mean, yeah, we beat Dallas by 3 scores. So if that was the sacrifice, well worth it.
Yeah.
David, any other thoughts about the officiating or?
Just please don't come down to it. Like, just, I mean, call egregious stuff, call the obvious stuff, but like, do not call some ticky-tack crap that is like 15 yards away from where the ball was actually doing. I don't want any of that stuff. I don't want any reason to like, I just don't want to come on here. I don't want to hear about it if we win, and I don't want to like bitch about it if we lose. I just want it to be that team was better than us, or we were better than them, and that's why we want the better team. I want to win. That's all I care about.
We need consistency too. You know, if you're gonna call a tight game, call it from the beginning. Be consistent. If you're gonna let them hand fight a little bit, do that the whole time. Don't like that's what's been driving me crazy. Is like sometimes they'll let things pass early, and I'm like, all right, no problem. Like maybe that's how they're gonna run it, and then all of a sudden something way less egregious will happen, and they'll call it, and I'm like, what's happening? And sometimes it happens on the other team, and I'm still like, it's annoying because it's like eventually it might end up biting us in the ass. But it's like, dude, just figure out what your philosophy is and stick with that.
Totally.
Because I feel like teams adjust to it too, you know?
Yeah, of course. Yep. And I have one more scenario for you guys for this game. All right. Let's say you can get off to an early lead. Let's say you have a crystal ball and the Broncos are guaranteed to score a touchdown on their first drive of the game. Let's say you are guaranteed to go up 7-0. But let's just say that you're on the defensive side of the ball. You're on defense first, and you make the Bills go 3 and out on the first drive of the game. Are you taking the points? Are you taking the points knowing you're not getting the ball to start the second half? Or are you forcing Buffalo to get it 3 and out?
I'm always taking the points, baby. I'm always taking the lead. Hey, let's go up 7-0 this time around and finish the job. Not give up like, what was it, 41 straight points afterwards or whatever it was. That was dumb. Yep. Let's finish the job. Let's start out hot. Let's put pressure on them. Feel our crowd on the road. Let's make sure the crowd's real into it from the start.
Yep.
Yeah, I think yesterday, the Chargers game, like they made a mistake by not going up 3 early. And I think the thinking probably was like, oh, this is going to be more of a shootout game than it is going to be a defensive game because of the way that the Patriots had played, like with, had a lot of scores and all that. And obviously it was very different than that. And now you're like, oh, the whole game you're chasing those 3 that you didn't pick up. I mean, I get it to be aggressive, but like it seems like all the analytics about going for things on 4th down, once it comes to playoff time, it kind of inverts. It kind of goes the other way where it's just like, just make sure you get like, you know what I mean? Like take the 3, whatever. Like points are a premium in the playoffs because everything tightens up so much more. So that's what I would do. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Give me the points. Keep the crowd into it. I got a scenario for y'all.
Yep.
Well, actually I did, but I think it just left my head. This happens a lot. Because I'm thinking about like 10 different things, trying to keep up with the game and then the stats here that I was looking at. But I did think about it before. So if it comes back to me, I'll let you know, and it should soon. But I don't know, Cody, if you have another one. I like these scenarios, though. These are good.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, of course. I'm trying to think if I can think of another one. Oh, yeah. All right. So you're Sean Payton, and let's be honest, your teams with the New Orleans Saints at the end, at the kind of the second push for the Super Bowl with the New Orleans Saints, they lost in the dumbest ways possible. All right, so what are you doing throughout the week to prepare yourselves for these, to prevent these stupid in-game situations? Okay, now we've only had one of these like just absolutely like killer losses throughout Sean Payton's time as a Bronco. I think, actually, I think I could think of two. Actually, the walk-off field goal against New England, like that we just should have never been in that situation to begin with on Christmas 2 years ago, and also the Forsyth block last year. But you had the Minneapolis Miracle. You had the Vikings walk you off in overtime with the push-off no call. You had Tampa Bay come into your house and absolutely punk you in your own stadium when you beat them twice in the regular season that year. You embarrassed them in both regular season games. So if you're Sean Payton, how do you prevent just these all-time disastrous collapses from happening like you did in New Orleans?
Well, I think with this team, nobody expects them to win. Like Vegas, the media. So I think that there's a lot of like good bulletin board material that he could pull from clips, from the betting lines, all those things to really keep this team locked in. I think that's a big difference with Sean Payton with the Broncos versus Sean Payton with the Saints. We're still frauds to everybody. So we still got to go out and prove everybody dumb.
And I mean, how many years did the Patriots win playoff games, win Super Bowls because they just let the other team make mistakes? They just didn't make the big mistake and won because the other team was pressing because they were so worried about it. And I would preach to the team all week, like, look, there's going to be things that don't go our way. There's going to be a big play or a fumble or something is not going to go our way. Do not hang your heads. We have weathered storms all season long. You guys are built for this. You're mentally tough. I would just keep reiterating that. You do not want a Raheem Moore like waving at the football goodbye, like your playoffs goodbye, like situation. Like, just be smart. You don't need to do more than you like your job. And if you do that, you are good enough to win this game just because you're good enough. And it's not going to take to be overly clever or get lucky or any of that stuff. You have the crowd, you have all these things. So like, just don't get like, if you're a boxer, you're going to expect to get punched in the face. Like, you're going into it expecting that. Don't get shocked when you get punched, and don't like change your plans because you got punched. Like, it's going to happen, and it's a war of attrition. And these guys are like Mark said, like, they got beat up in that first game. They didn't have the easy games at the end of the season. That game against the Eagles, that was like a freaking hitters back and forth. Like, now they're going from Buffalo to Jacksonville to Denver at altitude on a short week, beat up. Like, just trust that, and you'll be okay. I just don't want this team to panic. That's the only thing. I think if we don't do that, we should be fine.
Speaking of panic, Aaron Rodgers, just hang it up, bro. Just hang it up, bro.
Yeah, this Texans team is gonna beat the shit out of the New England Patriots next week, bro.
I don't
You
think so, man. I don't think
gosh.
so.
This defense, I mean, listen, the Chargers defense is good, and they were rocking Drake May. This team is gonna absolutely dust them, dude. Bank on
Oh
that.
yeah, I mean, I
Bank
will
on
say the thing about Drake May though is that even though he was pressured as many times as Herbert, he hung in there and he made his plays. Okay, Rodgers isn't making his plays right now, and
Yeah.
you know, Herbert collapsed yesterday like he always does. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, that he did. That was a great thing. That was a great thing to see. So
You think
in terms
you
of
think
Sean,
Tomlin's
I
done?
think was that?
Good.
You think Mike Tomlin's done?
They're not going to fire him, but does the contract expire next year? I
don't
think
know.
they're just going to let it run out. I think it's going to be like, I don't know. It's like who's a good example of somebody whose contract just ran out and they just didn't extend?
Jason Garrett.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's a perfect example. I think Mike Tomlin is such a good coach that it's been the biggest reason the Pittsburgh Steelers haven't been able to make it over the hump. I've said it before because
Yeah.
he constantly has dog shit rosters. I mean, this year's was a little bit better, and he'll make the playoffs and then they'll lose, and then they'll pick 23rd in the draft, and they won't ever be able to get a quarterback, and the cycle just kind of continues.
What
So
the heck?
it's one of those where it's almost like he's so good that it affects him. But I don't know. I mean, I doubt it. I think Pittsburgh would be stupid. They probably need to get a new GM or something, or figure something out in that sense. I was gonna say, just regarding the whole Sean Payton thing, I don't know if he's done this already. He should, because you talk about the loss against the Rams when he was at the Saints, and that horrible no call, right? That was obviously just the league, like a big middle finger to Sean because of Bountygate, and the league like seems to still hate him. I would just hit up Greg Penner and say, hey man, we got to cut a check as an apology to the league. You know, what can we do? And then maybe everything will be like squashed. That's what I would do.
Smart.
But I don't know if you can do. I don't know if you can do anything else, man. Like from a preparation standpoint. They just got to go out there and ball. Here was my question. I remembered it. Who do you guys think has more pressure in this game? The Broncos being the number 1 seed at home, or the Bills?
I think the Bills.
Bills, dude.
I mean, you don't have Mahomes. You don't have Lamar. You don't have Burrow. Josh Allen doesn't win this year. Like, they're going to finally be like, what's the deal? Like, you have it for it. In the scenario of everybody thinks of, they're not looking at rosters, but they're looking at quarterback versus quarterback. He shouldn't have any problem getting to the Super Bowl because he's better than everybody, right? That's the thinking. So I definitely, and McDermott's got pressure on him for other reasons, because if he doesn't get it done, then now he's in the hot seat, no matter what they finish with. So I definitely still think it's the Bills. Like, I think the fact that Vegas favored them, says that. So, I love where we're sitting. I love being the home team, number 1 seed, and also not having the pressure on us. Like, that to me is like perfect. And we're going to, use that as fuel. So,
Dude, we're underdogs. I can't believe it, man. Yeah, the pressure's on Buffalo. Absolutely. This is the year they don't have to face the Chiefs. This is the year to get it done.
Yeah.
And if not, there's a lot of people losing their jobs.
Yep.
Yeah. And the narrative will be, if they don't get it done against us on Sunday or Saturday, the narrative will be that they choked. But the reality of the situation is they were far better. They had far better teams in years where they just couldn't get over the Chiefs hump. And it just is what it is.
Yep.
And ultimately, yeah, I mean, statistically speaking, they've gone from, having that flashy passing game when Dable was there to, with Allen and Diggs to, being a run-first offense, focusing on tight ends, drafting Kincaid, drafting Hawes, getting all those big offensive linemen. Aaron Kromer does a fantastic job as the offensive line coach in Buffalo as well. But, I think this is simultaneously their best chance and probably the worst roster they've had around Josh Allen in a long time. So either Allen is him and he gets it done, or Sean McDermott is just really the worst playoff coach ever.
And just like you said, if Allen doesn't get it done, it's not on him. It's the roster, but they will blame him. Just like they do with Bo Nix, the same thing. If Bo Nix, whatever, that's always quarterback versus quarterback, even though this is clearly a team game. Like, they always do that.
Well, and it's different with Josh Allen too, man. Like, he's unbelievable in the playoffs. Like, all of his playoff losses are not at all because he made a big mistake or he lost, like he played like crap. They showed it. He's leading in everything: touchdowns, yards average per game, touchdown interception ratio, everything. So like, he always does his part. And hopefully it just means that he keeps losing. That would be great for this week.
Please highlight this comment from Revenge 401k.
Yes, I wanted to get to
talk about this.
Yeah, y'all think Drew Sanders is active this game? We did activate him off of IR. For what purpose?
Maybe for special teams, man. Maybe. That's the only thing I can think of. Because he's a dog at special teams.
I was listening to Cecil and Mace talk about this, and they made a good point that I didn't think of. But he's like in the situation where it's like, get him back, see what he's got, see how he looks. And if we get past this week, and if there is an injury down the line, even going into if we go to the Super Bowl, whatever, then you can be like, okay, now we need you, kind of a thing. I think it's kind of like break glass in case of emergency type of situation, more than it is of like, oh, good, he's back, let's get him on the field. So
should have kept Garrett Wallow, man. He's out there making plays for the San Francisco 49ers.
I know, man.
Looking
Yeah,
better
you're
than
great
all of
out
our
there.
looking better than all of our linebackers.
Yeah, but Drew Sanders specifically, like, man, it's one of those situations where how do I put this? Not that he's the A.T. Perry of defense, but he's
Kind of.
how do I put this? I feel like he's more the Greg Dulcich of defense, where, all right, if he's out there, I have to see it to believe it. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember how long it took Dulcich to come back from that injury? All right. Now, the difference is Drew Sanders played one snap against the Chargers last year in one of our really, really big games, and he got a sack. But he also played a handful of other snaps. I'm pretty sure, didn't he have one pass coverage snap, Mark, and he missed the tackle?
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
it's like
he had one tackle actually in the wild card game.
exactly. So
He had one opportunity to tackle somebody and he missed. He had 100% missed tackle rate. That was pretty impressive.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Either way.
I'm good. I'm good with the whole Drew Sanders thing. I mean, I think we joked about it in the Discord. We said, like, he's the player that I talk about the most that I also completely forget is on this team. And that's just kind of Drew Sanders in a nutshell. It'd be amazing if he worked. I'm all for bringing him back next year and letting him go through camp and blah, blah, blah. But for this year, it's like, I'd rather, I mean, let's go through the names. If we had injuries at linebacker, I'd rather Lavelle Bailey, Karene Reed, Jordan Turner. Those would be my three guys. And then maybe you put Hufanga in there at linebacker. If Brandon Jones gets back, I don't know. But yeah, it's frustrating, man. And it sucks for him. Like, I couldn't imagine how awful it is for him. But
And they did activate Karene Reed as well. So he is back.
Okay. Well, guys, I think we should get into some predictions and then wrap this thing up. For those of you who do like to make some money, hopefully on the Broncos, use that code DTB, links in the description. Sign up on Kalshi. Be like me. I threw some money on the Broncos to win, being underdogs at 48%, $4. So, hey, I'll double my money. Kalshi sponsors David Talks Broncos. If you want to support the channel, go ahead and sign up. You'll get a $10 bonus match when you deposit 10. Well, let's go ahead and get into some of our predictions, guys. Let's give a score prediction and maybe, like, of course, MVP of the game, maybe outside Bo Nix. If we win this game, it's probably going to be, Bo Nix being MVP. Yeah, Mark, let's start with you and we can work our way around.
Well, as me and Cody, I just put in the chat, I think we have breaking news. Broncos are playing at 2:30. It's a 2:30 kickoff.
Let's go. That's awesome.
First game of the the divisional round. We're talking about predictions, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a really good game, man. I really do. I think the Broncos are going. This is so different than the last matchup in so many different ways. I think we're a much better team in all phases. I think I don't think Buffalo is necessarily as strong. I think that them coming off a short week, having to come and play here is big. It's a big advantage to kind of close that gap. I've been going back and forth, man, because this is the matchup that I didn't want, but I believe in this team. They've given me no reason all year to not believe that this is what they're made of. Sean Payton last year, after the game, right when it finished, he said, it was a great experience, but man, I was just telling the team that we need to have these games played at home. He got exactly what he wished for. Not only is he getting it at home, the exact same opponent. He usually answers the bell really well. I got the Broncos winning this game by a score of 26-23 on a Will Lutz field goal.
Beautiful.
From 61. I'm just kidding. a 48-yard Will Lutz field goal.
Let's go. Kodiak?
All right, guys. I've got the key stat for you guys in this game. Okay. Shout out to Zan on Broncos Twitter, because I remember seeing this a year ago and it literally just popped into my head right now where I could look it up. Guys, against bald head coaches, Sean Payton is 30-13 all time. All right. So Sean McDermott, we are coming for your follically challenged ass. All right. 30-13 all time in his career against bald head coaches. And guess what? He's going to go 31-13. All right. And is that the final score prediction? Absolutely not. It's not going to be 31-13. All right, guys. But the reason I asked you guys about that scenario is because it is going to be a game where we rely on Bo Nix to win us the game. 24-20. We get the ball at our 35. 2-minute warning, all 3 timeouts. We go down the field, walk off, Troy Franklin touchdown. 8 seconds left. Buffalo, knife in the heart of Buffalo once again. to go along with those compilations that you'll watch in 10 years on your TV. Every Buffalo playoff choke of the Josh Allen era. We're coming for you.
Beautiful.
Well, why has Walmart got to take some strays here in the chat? There's some things Walmart sells that's better than anywhere else.
That's true.
David, what do you think, man?
Okay, I'll go with mine. I'm going 24-20 Broncos. And I think our defense stops Josh Allen on the final drive. I think that's what happens.
Wow.
And a guy that I think to watch for having a big impact on this game is Marvin Mims in the return game. He's got the ability to give us short fields. So he's somebody that I got my eye on. Man, could we get a Trendon Holiday throwback where he has like 2 touchdowns? That would be amazing.
Touchdowns, not the fumbles.
Yeah, that's right. But I ain't going to go that far. Just Marv, flip the field for us. Let's win on special teams. Let's win on special teams. Let's not be dumb. Let's take the points on special teams when we're in field goal position. And I think that might be the difference in this game.
We also need somebody else to flip it for us too, man. Don't forget about Mr. Crawshaw.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Yes, franchise punter.
Croshank Redemption. I don't like predicting scores because I'll jinx it. So I don't care if we win this game 3-2, 2-0. It doesn't matter to me as long as we get the W. I think we're the better team. I think if we do the thing, if we, stop the run the ball, catch the football, swarm tackle, you stop Allen on third downs when he's looking to run, and run Prentice on short yardage. And if we don't turn it over and if we get a turnover, I think I think we win. So I don't know. I'm not good at that kind of stuff. I trust myself to like mess it up if I do that. So, and honestly, I'm not one of those people that I don't know. I never know the over under of anything till afterwards. It doesn't matter to me. It's just like every game is its own thing. So I don't care how it has to happen. It just win. That's all that matters to me. So
there will be a Sean Payton trick play. There will be.
Should we go back to that
sort.
Garrett Bowles in the end zone throw again, or we tried that?
We might. It's going to be something. People forget in the debacle last year, we had a fake punt, and it worked. It worked great, too. So he's got the onside kick in the Super Bowl. Sean Payton is cooking up something. I don't know what it is yet, and I don't know if it'll work, but he's cooking something up.
It seemed like all year he tried trick stuff, like almost once a game, and like almost never worked. So he's due if we do it.
Yeah, never worked.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we'll be back to talk about it, and hopefully we can be on Monday night talking about a Broncos win. Horsepower Hour, baby. It's going to be awesome. Y'all be sure. Again, want to shout out everybody in the chat. Y'all are fantastic tonight. Again, sorry we started a little bit late. That was my fault. But go and support my friends. Mark at Marcky Sports, Kodiak Broncos, and Jeremy Sean, Broncos Unbridled. Links are all in the description of my video. You can probably find mine to David Josh Broncos in their videos too. So, guys, we'll be back. Hit that like on the way out. Drop your score predictions below on the replay. And as always, y'all, go Broncos.
Go Broncos, baby. Let's go.
Peace.
God bless Bo Nix. That's sacrifice. He's grabbed and he's going to be